We're all doing it to some extent. Some do it more, some do it less. But many of us are still unaware of the latent potential it bears. And it also surrounds many highly spiritual terms like vibration, frequency, and resonance. So what are we talking about? Today we will talk about music. Daddy, sing me a song, please. Music is so widespread and polyvalent that you can connect with it at any time, in any situation. When you're experiencing failure, you most likely listen to quite sad music. And on the other hand, when you feel like embracing the world, you most likely listen to happy music like, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. So music somehow seems able to display our inner state and our inner feelings. And it doesn't really matter if there are vocals involved or if we're just talking about an instrumental version of a song. Because even a simple melody is able to transfer thousands of words and feelings at the same time. So in a sad situation, you're identifying with a song that displays the feelings and problems you see yourself entangled with. And in a happy situation, you identify with the music that shares that, what is worth celebrating according to you. But listening to sad music isn't a bad thing at all, don't get me wrong. It really is a successful method for finding out what a problem really is about. To give you an example, at the time I was listening to such kinds of music basically all day. I was still far away from those insights I have now. But in retrospect, I can tell you that the vocals of the songs I listened to just matched up perfectly with the truth behind my feelings. So I couldn't translate those feelings into words, but yet I was able to finally understand it through music. So some text passages just gave me the goosebumps because I felt this kind of resonance between myself, my inner, and those words spoken. And if I had looked closer back then, I would have known what all that is about. So it's a little paradox that you can learn something about yourself while listening to a piece of music from another person, right? That is true. But it also proves that you're never alone with your problems. There is always someone who shares your feelings and is able to identify with your problems, because he or she also had to experience all that on some level. And the fact the artist made a song out of that situation presents a benefit for both parties, right? For you listening, since you have something to hold on to, and for the artist himself, who feels now most likely better than ever before, because he could express all that, what he felt in the situation. And the mechanism of expression is a really important one, as I figured out along my journey. So this expression stems from Latin, ex and primere, which means to push something out. So in the author's stead, he just pushes away his own negativity from the inside to the outside. And when you push something from the inside to the outside, it is not in your interior anymore. That is obvious. So in order to get rid of a certain feeling, especially negative ones, it is best to express them. Through music or words, that doesn't matter. From there, by the way, stems the phrase, let's talk about it. Because even a conversation is a simple mean to express yourself, and therefore to let your inner feelings to the outside. And fact is further, everyone, without any exceptions, needs to express him or herself, because keep in mind, we're still in the physical world, and everything physical is finite. So compare your body with a simple bucket. Whereas the bucket is filling up with water, your body is doing the same with feelings and emotions. And both, according to the same manner, will spill over at some point. And when that happens, you will say, "Hello darkness, my old friend." And we all have been at that point, right? But what can you do to prevent that from happening? Well, as I said, express yourself. For instance, by learning a new instrument, by speaking, by singing, by writing. You can use anything that reveals your inner feelings, your innermost core. Important is only that you don't repress your feelings, because they will come back to haunt you at some point, when you don't work on clearing them. Exactly that was the initiation that brought me to the piano. Of course not consciously, because I was too occupied at that point with my surroundings to really care too much about spirituality and wisdom. But it shows once more that there's always something working between the sheets, trying to guide us out of our misery we're in at some point. Even if it happens through a simple nudge or intuitive push to do something. So the first song I learned to play on the piano was Yeruma's River Flows in You. You've surely heard about that one, without any doubt. But listening alone didn't make it better. It made things only worse, as I was identifying more and more with the core frequency behind the song. But once I tried to play it on my own, I got into the state of expression, and as a result of that, I was finally able to relieve so much negativity. But for now I'm only referring to that song, because the other ones I learned share a quite different background story. But to give you a little preview on that, the second song I learned is called Just a Dream, and the third one, Silent Scream. So that those titles have an impact on you, and you will see that they have quite a big hidden meaning behind them. But that is quite often the case. So in truth, you have the title you read as a listener versus the title that was written by the author. Now music is an art form that can be truly healing and transformative at the same time. Therefore it is really important to be created from an inner impulse, with the core ingredients of volition, passion and individuality. You've surely seen the parents trying to teach their 2-year-old children how to play the piano. I mean, it can work to some extent, but only if the parents hit the bullseye and are able to predict for their kid what it wants to do for a lifetime. Indeed, it can conclude in a happy ending, like those concert pianists seemingly having 20 fingers and 4 arms, like a squid almost. But we also have the situation of parents rather forcing their children to do something. And as a result, it almost seems like studying for a heavy exam. And with that, it helps no one. The happy ending in that situation is simply when they finally break out of that unfulfilling habit and encounter a medium on which they can truly express themselves. So what is your way to express your feelings? Is it writing? Is it singing? Or are you also playing the piano? I would love to know. But whatever it may be, just enjoy it and make your life a little bit lighter. Now to finish this off, I have a little wise phrase for you. Express life, and life will express itself very pleasantly in return. Now my friends, have a great time and enjoy whatever you're doing, but never forget, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Until next time.